Okay, so the first thing is you should all have been invited to join the advisory committee members page. What I recommend that you do when you do join it is that you bookmark it, because you need to be able to go directly to it, and you need to be logged in to go to see the page. So those are the key things that tripped me up when we first started using it. On the page is the basic information, project background, blah, blah, blah. Key dates, document library. We can skip all of that. This stuff will probably move down the page as we add more content. For the purposes of what we were just talking about with Donna, focusing on that, there's two things that I want to share with you. The first is that we can share feedback here. And for example, what you were saying before about having something that's not a PDF, so can't be distributed, we can share things as a gallery. So you can just look at it without it being able to be taken away and sent anywhere else. And that's what I've done here with the Mentimeter one from your meeting a couple of months ago. So you can have documents, as you can see over here, the climate emergency strategy, that's all there, but you can just have a gallery. Now down the bottom, what I wanted to show you was 3 tools that I would really love everyone to engage with when they're ready. Because one of the things we do want to look at is the information about the different sections of the strategy. So energy is one where we want to start. This tool is a forum tool. And so when you click into it, we can ask the question and then we can see each other's comments. Okay, we can reply to them as well. So that's one interactive tool which is really useful on here and could be used for a lot of our engagement. Another tool is a poll, not so useful for what we're talking about with Donna, but potentially quite useful for helping us make really quick decisions about things that need to be, that we agree on need to be the core focus. I have noted for myself that I think these either or questions don't work in the poll, so I would change that before I actually asked you to do it. But that's a really quick way to just kind of get a sense check from everybody about what they want us to focus on. The only thing is you won't see the poll results as they go along. Then there's this vision or input, which is also really useful, which is kind of tell us your idea, and then you can submit it. It's a small amount of words though, and you can put things like the categories in. So these can be changed, but for the purposes of the energy vision, it was like, are we talking about changing a fact, an aspirational statement in there, something around advocacy, or are we talking about just changing text like wordsmithing? And then we can see with this tool also allows us to display the results that people are putting up. So we can, it's like an interactive tool. There are 2 other options that might also be useful. And for here, I'm just going to flick. You should see this change. You should now see my Canva presentation. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
thank you. I'm going to flick to the very end. There are 2 other interaction tools that I think would be quite useful, and particularly in regards to what we were just talking about. There's a conversation, which is kind of like a blog post, almost like comments on a particular, on an article or something like that. But there's also more formal Q&As. And I did just very cleverly close down these pages, but I will get them back because they're really useful. And it just gives you a little bit of a demo, I think, particularly for what we're trying to do for Donna. Sorry about this. So Q&A is a much more formal structure. And it allows us to have different people respond as well. So there's that.
Would you imagine that's mostly the committee posing questions and council staff responding?
I think that's how it's mostly used, yeah. So we can modify how we use that. But then there's this much more sort of loose conversation tool. So, what's on your mind? Apparently, a test response is on someone's mind. Obviously, this, you know, the demonstration here is not particularly great, but there's also this kind of conversation tool as well. So we could test these out on this page, and we can add as many of these interaction tools as we want to.
Does the conversation page have the ability for people to, I guess it would be upvote responses on it?
Yeah, that's what the.
Oh, yeah.
That's just
Does it? No, that's
I
the-
don't think so.
Okay.
The forum one does, I think.
The vision pool.
No, not the poll, but the forum. The forum tool is really lovely. And that can be where you add your comments.
Yeah.
And comments
Yeah.
don't seem to be in the forum tool, they don't seem to be limited in the character amount. And these can be upvoted, and people can reply as well. So
that would be
perhaps this is the way to
case for
go.
our- got a lot of people who make a comment and then other people can, oh yeah, that's the one that should be read first if you're looking for an
Yeah.
answer on this one. And
Mhm.
you know, there's a lot of
Yeah.
people with each other, and to be able to represent that agreement without having to say, yes, I agree on another new thing, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
sorts it by comments and stuff. It's
Yeah.
very useful.
It's a good way for us to go 90% of the group support this
Yeah.
particular, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.